Well, I have got some bad news for you. I'm just in front of your drinks right now. Yeah? So I'm going to try to make it very quick, which is, let's all go for drinks. Okay. Right. Since I'm going to be the last speaker, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to make it a bit interactive as well, so that you don't start thinking about drinks, yeah? So that your mind is busy doing something else. So, wow, what a day. Hasn't it been? What a day? Absolutely. Now, we're going to do a little bit of exercise, since we all seem to be very keen on exercises here. So we're going to go very quickly. I'm going to ask you, what has been your main big aha moment today? So if you were taking one idea back home, which one was that one? Speak up.
Food in the streets.
Pardon?
Food in the streets.
Food in the streets. Trying something different. Micromassive.
Us and us, not us and them.
Pardon?
Us and us, not us and them.
Terrific. Us and us, not us and them. Okay? Hope. Wow. Can we go for drinks now? I need seriously one right now. What else have we learned today?
The future we get is the future we aspire to have.
Absolutely. I retweeted that. I think that's one of the main key messages, is that forget about whatever the bollocks that people tell you. We create the future today of what we want to do today, not tomorrow. If we start thinking about what we're going to do tomorrow, we won't reach tomorrow ever. What else?
Don't ask permission. Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yes. Do it. Absolutely. What else? Pardon? Get rid of the bosses. My God. You guys want to come and live my world? Got two, you know. What else?
Happiness at work.
Happiness at work. Yes. Kudos. You rock.
5 tiers of hellos. 5 tiers of hello.
5 tiers below.
Of hello.
Oh, hello. Oh, 5 tiers of hello. That's right. What else? Retrain your brain. Absolutely.
Small actions have big results.
Small actions have got big results. You see why we don't give a shit about future anymore? We give a shit about small actions that we can do today. What else?
Mutuality forever.
Pardon?
Mutuality forever.
Mutuality forever. You see, you guys are doing the presentation for me. Let's all have drinks. Wow. Now, I want to ask you to do one favor, if you can. Tweet that same idea and the meaningconf hashtag to see if we can beat the stupid porn shit that's been going on the whole day. Do me that favor, please. Let's see if we can do it, right? So what do I want to talk to you about today? What I'm going to talk to you about today, before I came to the conference, about what I think is the main business problem that we face today in the big, large corporate environment. And usually when I do ask people what they think is their main business problem that they see, they tell me all sorts of various different things. So I'm going to ask you again, in the organizations that you work, in the freelance work that you do, if you were to take, or if you were to name one thing as the #1 business problem that you guys have today, what would that be?
Miscommunication.
Miscommunication. Red tape. Lack of purpose and lack of what? Higher purpose. Wow, that's aiming higher. You're sitting higher? Is that because you're sitting higher there? What else? Fear. Lack of capital. What else? Ego. What else?
Lack of trust.
Lack of trust. What else? Pardon? Email. I didn't pay him to say that. What else? What are your main business problems that you face today? Short-termism. That's right. What else? Inertia. Something on the back. What was on the back? Slow decision-making. Lack of empathy. Risk averseness. Responsibility. Lack of responsibility, or no, or responsibility is lack of responsibility. What else? The language is business. What else?
Pointless conflict. Lack of initiative.
Sorry, one more.
Pointless conflict.
A pointless conflict and?
Disempowerment. Lack of initiative.
Disempowerment, lack of initiative.
Institutional dynamics.
Institutional dynamics.
Take a leap of faith.
Sorry, it's just that you come from the north here, so my... Translate, please. Translate, someone here. Excuse me, darling. One more time.
Take a leap of faith. Take a leap.
Now, you guys are going to have a kick out of this, and you're going to love me for that, and I'll buy you a coffee right now when we go outside. I'm an English teacher. I graduated as an English teacher, right? And I still couldn't make a sense of what you said.
Gin and tonic, please.
Yes! Right, I got that. You see, drinks. It's like someone bringing drinks here, right? Wow, you guys have told me there what you find as the main business problems. Now, how about if you work for an organization where you see all of that and so much more? That's the company that I work for. That's the vast majority of the corporate world today. And to me, it's amazing, but you guys haven't said what I feel is the #1 business problem. And that was actually coming to me as an aha moment sometime last year when Deloitte published this piece of research about corporate America, which we think that we can all learn a little bit from that, where it was saying that 71% of the employee workforce is totally disengaged. So how do I translate that? I translate that 7 out of 10 of your work colleagues don't give a shit about you. Good luck with that. And then when I tell people about that being a business problem, they tell me, no, that is not a business problem. I said, why not? I said, well, because I don't care about the employees. They're just there to do work. And I said, that's why you have a business problem, because they're not there to do your work. They're there to do their work, which they established themselves, right? So you may be wondering, so what the hell I'm going to talk about here about a collaborative future? Well, I'm going to be sharing with you a story. Actually, instead of me doing it, I have got a video of around 4 minutes that describes how one small, tiny piece of shit, one of those employees that doesn't give a shit, supposedly, 4 years ago, decided to challenge the status quo of how certain things happen at the workplace. Right, attacking what I feel is the #1 productivity killer from that employee workforce. And this is not an attack against email, because I think that email still is good for communicating. This is an attack about our own bad habits that, thanks to Caroline, we're going to break when we leave this room, don't we? We're going to stop using email as a political weapon. We're going to stop using email as a cover-your-eyes weapon. We're going to stop using email as a bullying tool, feeling that we feel more entitled and empowered to diminish the abilities of our own employees. We're going to stop using email so that we at least get some work done. Because right now, the average amount of hours that an employee spends at the workforce is around 3 to 4 hours per day just processing email. So half of your work day is gone doing email. So when Alex was telling us about happy work, how many of you are happy during those 4 hours of processing email? Raise your hand. One person. Do you fancy gin and tonic as well? Yeah? Because I can certainly invite you for one. So one person of the entire room. Oh, you too? So 2 people more? 3 people more? 3 people more. You guys rock, you know that. You're an exception. You are a species at the border of extinction, right? Why am I saying that? Because, as you can see, it's a situation where email has no longer, or is no longer, a useful tool to get us to the work. So better than me telling you why, let's watch the video. It's a 4-minute video. And you guys will see some of that transformation that one employee started 4 years ago and what has happened as a result of it. So, video, whenever you're ready. I'm always on the move. But one of the things that I always do is check what my social networks are doing, see whether I can help, see where I can share my knowledge, see whether I can create knowledge. And then from there onwards, what I do is I check my diary to see where I have to go. I work for IBM Madrid. My boss is in the US. I live and work in Gran Canaria, and I don't use email. It was nearly 4 years ago, right? I was coming back to the office, and I found myself with like several hundred emails in my inbox. And I thought, like, I'm sorry, this is not a way of productivity. I need to kill this. I need to stop that. So what I did was I basically dumped email. Easy. I wanted to find a way to become more productive again. The idea was to realize that I needed to regain back my productivity by using more collaborative tools. I created a blog post where I told everyone in the company and outside that I was going to stop using email. And instead, I was going to use social software tools, right? My colleagues were shocked. They were telling me, how are you going to do that? You're crazy. We are an email-driven company. You're not going to survive. We're going to give you like 2 weeks. Well, I've been doing it for 3.5 years, and I'm still there. And I'm doing it every day. What it's meant for me, it's meant a new way of working, where I become a lot more collaborative, a lot more open, and more importantly, I share a lot more of my knowledge. I'm no longer the bottleneck. What I have decided to do was to design a new way of working for me and my colleagues. So what I do is I spend a lot of time sharing and educating them and coach them on how they too can move away from their inboxes. So this not just benefits the individual, it benefits the groups, the networks, and overall the company itself. Why? Because they will be able to keep people. When I started doing this, I started getting 30 to 40 emails per day. Now I'm just getting 16 per week. I was closed, private, with power struggles, into more open, transparent, and engaged tools, social networking tools. I become a lot more helpful to other people because I'm no longer just working on 1 or 2 individuals' work. I'm actually helping out the social networks become better at what they do already. With your email, right, you no longer have the control. You always depend on other people. In social networks, you control the flow. You control who you network with, who you share knowledge with, and who you collaborate with. That's the liberating movement from breaking out from the inbox. It's thinking outside of the inbox, realizing that to become more innovative, to find that new way of working, you need to encourage open collaboration, open knowledge sharing, something that email wasn't providing. So what I did was basically break the chain. The main shift for corporations is that for the first time they're realizing they have got a huge amount of hidden talent behind the firewall. They're people. I'm much more powerful myself with my networks than with my inbox. Email will survive. It will still be there. There are good use cases for it. What we're going to see is we're going to see how it's going to transition from being a content repository to being a messaging and notification system. The future of work is going to be more distributed. Work is going to get done around social networks and communities, and we're going to have less hierarchy and more hierarchy. For the first time in 15 years, I now own the work that I do. That's a story. Now, things that you guys will see in there is, how's that for employee engagement? I keep telling people that I live in Africa, I report to the Madrid, in this case Europe, and my boss is in the States, in Raleigh, right? So what I'm doing with this little small move, that I'm going to call it from now onwards, that's becoming a bit titled now, is I'm challenging the status quo. I'm helping people understand how if we want to collaborate much more effectively, we need to be more open. We need to be more transparent. We need to be comfortable being open and transparent, right? We need to also help people understand how if you want to change things, no matter how tiny you are as an employee, if you believe in that idea, you can make it happen. There used to be a time when we could not make that happen because hierarchy was just hiding that, right? Information is power, knowledge is power. You guys remember that? Now it is knowledge shared is power. So if you have that idea, if you believe on that idea, if you get a network of people around that idea, that can turn itself around, and you can change the way people work around you, right? So when I started this 4 years ago, people were telling me, yes, you're crazy. You know, in 2 weeks you're going to be fired because we are an email-driven company, right? Yet 4 years later, this is the official social business campaign launched in Europe where they use me as an avatar. I am the avatar. Do I love it? Yes. Who doesn't? It gets me to travel around. It gets me to meet wonderful people like you all here. It gets me to go to these great conferences like Meaning. But most importantly, I've got a huge sense of achievement at the end of the day that I'm doing something that matters. I own my work. That's what we need to take back. Own that work. And make it your own. Don't make it from someone else or whatever. How can we do that? With our networks. Treasure and live in your networks. So I was doing a short snippet interview, and I finished off with this earlier on, where someone told me, so how do you face learning nowadays? You know, we go from the traditional classroom where you go and someone teaches you for 1 week what you do. I said, well, the last time that I went into an official classroom type of education, that was 11 years ago, just the day that I started using social networks. They are not my school every day. I tell them what I'm interested in, and they feed me back. I culture, or I nurture and cultivate those relationships. Those are the ones that make me a better person every day. And why do I do that? Because I do give a shit about the work that I do. Thank you.